My name is Ondrej, and this will be the most extensive Midjourney course you've ever seen. So why Midjourney? You get total control over the image generation. It produces state-of-the-art images. It has flexible pricing and the generation is fast. Here are some weaknesses though. Fast hours can be used up very quickly, and I actually have a cure for that, which I'll reveal in a bit. It requires some setup, and Discord UI, I mean, this has a strength for some and a weakness for others, so it's up to you. And if you think you can't get to this level, my goal with this course is to prove you otherwise. Midjourney lets you imagine anything and everything, so you can show the world how creative you really are. You look at these, just amazing, man. Okay, let's go to module number 2, the correct setup to produce the best possible images. Start by creating your own Discord server. Don't use the public server. Click on create my own, name it, give it a profile picture. Once you get a Midjourney subscription, click on the Midjourney bot and click add app. Select the server, choose the one you just created. The next step you should do is type /settings. It will pop up this, and make sure to enable remix mode. Module number 3, serious mistakes to avoid. Writing vague prompts. So maybe, just 2 or 3 words. Not testing everything, so test every single feature inside of Midjourney. Test everything and see what you like. Also, do not just copy from others. It's fine to get started, but you need to develop your own style. Also, never just try one prompt. Expect to try like 5 to 10 prompts. So many beginners just try one prompt and give up. Like, come on. Don't settle for alright images. This is obviously subjective and you develop a feel over time, but if you go to the Midjourney Explore page and sort by top, you'll see like how amazing the images can get. So don't settle for something that's mediocre. Okay, so here are 2 examples of what happens when you go more detailed. So both of these images are good, but you can see that the bottom image is way more detailed. It's way more, relevant to the prompt. It's more descriptive. That's what you need to be, descriptive. Okay, so here is how Midjourney works in plain English. It's a diffusion model. So it starts by training. The company scrapes as many images from the web as possible. Obviously, there is some controversy. Some companies get a license. Like, I think Adobe is probably the only large company that has every image license because they own Adobe stock. Then AI generates a noise base. So image generation begins with a random noise pattern. As you can see, this is for numbers. Obviously Midjourney creates way more advanced images, but the concept is the same. The first step is refining. The AI incrementally transforms noise into a detailed image. And then the fourth step is taking the user prompt and, it shapes the noise according to the prompt, fine-tunes the details, colors, and stuff like that. More on diffusion models later because, they're quite advanced. So if you want to actually learn about them, keep watching. Now, how to pay 3 times less for Midjourney. Using the rating function on the Midjourney website, you can get 10 free fast hours every single month. And honestly, it's very easy to get in the top 2000. Like, you can just rate like 10, 20 images and get a free hour. If you look at the standard plan, it's 15 hours and the basic plan is 3.3 hours. So you basically get the same amount of fast GPU time as a plan that's 3 times more expensive. So this is a tip how to save some money. Now let's go on to module number 4. How to write great prompts. So parameters. You have to understand the parameters inside of Midjourney. And it might be overwhelming, but bear with me. So aspect ratio, this is like the most basic one, right? And it decides like whether it's a horizontal image, a square image, or a vertical image. Chaos, as the name suggests, it adds chaos to the image. So maybe you have a good prompt, but it's almost there, but not quite. Just add some chaos and maybe you'll get what you're looking for. No, this is a negative prompt. So maybe you want like a bowl of fruit, but you don't want any bananas. You would, obviously do --NO type bananas. Image weights. So if you have like a image you want to replicate, maybe you have a photo of your cat and you want to use that as a basic, you can upload that to Midjourney and then use --IW and then paste the link. So you can do like image weight 2, I think is the maximum, and that will have the most strongest effect on the result. Stylized, this is another important one. 0 to 1000, it changes how much of the Midjourney style is applied. So if you go 0, it's the closest to the prompt, but doesn't have that Midjourney touch. If you go 1000, it's not going to be close to the prompt, but it's going to look a lot more aesthetic. This one I use all the time. It's basically to quickly create more images at once. So if you do --repeat 3, you have to put this at the very end of the prompt. Midjourney generates 3 times the same prompt. So in total, you will get 12 images from that prompt because every generation creates 4 variations. And also get inspired. Like, don't blindly copy, but don't be afraid to take in some inspiration from people who have generated more images than you. These are some of my favorite Twitter accounts for Midjourney. Here is example of the stylized, as I mentioned. If you see, like, this is the prompt below, and on 1000 it's like super aesthetic, it's super Midjourney vibes, but it's not as close as to the prompt. So you can see 17-year-old boy, and this honestly looks like a girl. So yeah, I mean, 250 produces really solid results. It's a boy, and it still has that like aesthetic vibe. And prompt 0 is the closest to the prompt, but it doesn't look that good. This might be the single most important slide in the entire presentation. How to structure your prompts. You know, you don't have to use every single point every time you write a prompt, but it's good to remember this and use this as a foundational block when writing prompts. So style, this is meant of like what kind of medium it is. So photo of, or maybe painting of, or a sketch of. Then second most impact is subject. So obviously what you want shown, an astronaut in a white spacesuit or a green flying cat on a cloud, right? Setting, so like describe the environment, right? Standing on a moon with Earth visible in the starry sky. Composition, now as we go down the list, it's less and less important. So the first three are way more important than the last three, but the more you include, the more detailed, comprehensive, and original your images will be. Astronaut in the center and Earth is in the background. Lighting, I'll show you way more examples on lighting. So yeah, this is just, a basic outline of the prompt structure. And then additional info, obviously every image, every prompt has that different. But just remember this, like style, subject, setting, composition, lighting, and details. Here are some must-known terms. Basic camera terms, bokeh, I don't know how you pronounce that, but basically it's like these circles, right, in the light. And depth of field makes the background blurry. So as you can see, the girl is in the focus and the background is blurred. Very nice. Long exposure, so this is, used for stars or for time lapses. And lens type, you can do wide angle, telephoto, macro, fisheye. There are so many lens types. Now let's go into types of lighting, because you can get super different results just by changing the lighting. So this is how backlighting looks like. This is how rim lighting looks like. You can see the difference, right? This is Rembrandt, so obviously named after the famous Dutch artist. And it's like more bland and, with a clear background. Hazy, overcast, and sunny. So you can clearly see the difference, like sunny. It's subtle, like if you're a beginner to Midjourney, you won't even notice this, but the more images you have generated, you will immediately like look at an image and you see the word, which is, that's the goal. So yeah, this is sunny, you can clearly see the vibe. Overcast, definitely way less sun. And then hazy, like something in between, but like has that hazy vibe. Now, 3 more lightings. Like this is all the same prompt. That's the amazing things. You have the same prompt, but like the lighting changes so much, right? Foggy, the atmosphere here is like, you can feel it, right? And then snowy, obviously. There is way more light than in foggy, but yeah, there is snow. Sunset, golden hour, and dusk. So golden hour is one of the most famous lightings, obviously, and for a good reason. It just looks amazing. Sunset and dusk, like the difference between these two is more nuanced, but if you have a trained eye, you can definitely see it. Sunrise, blue hour, and nighttime. So sunrise, blue hour, and then nighttime, angles. So you have eye level, which means how, like right now, you're looking at me eye level. Low angle when the camera is below the subject, and side angle is, from the side, obviously. High, bird eye, back, very explanatory. High angle, camera above the subject, back from behind, and bird eye from the sky. Full body, medium, close up. Full body shot is when you want the entire person. Medium is like this. You see me like medium's distance. If I go closer, it could be a close up. And you can see like this is a close-up and this is a medium shot. This is what I meant with the hands, right? Sometimes the hands are a bit cursed. So anyway, styles. Experiment with different styles. So tri-X, black and white, nostalgic. Old film. So this is an example of old film. Digital painting, obviously we all know that. Makes it look like something digital, something from Photoshop. Surrealist, this is an art style. Like it produces very creative results. One of my favorites for sure. Cubism, the best way to explain that is similar to Picasso. Obviously, he was one of the most famous Cubist artists. Like, there are so many styles. It's like the entire video could be just 1 hour of me going through styles and showing you images. Yeah, if you want to look more, just go into midlibrary.io/styles. Module number 5, in-painting and face swapping. Let's look at the in-painting feature. This lets you adjust parts of the image. So here we have an image of a girl. Now, let's say I want to give her blue eyes. I go, into Midjourney and I click this button, which is very region. This is the in-painting button. Then below you can see a square and you can see a lasso. So like depending, what you want to select. For eyes, obviously, I use the lasso tool and just selected the eyes. But let's say, you want to change a window on a house, right? You will use the square. So I select the eyes like so and then adjust the prompt by adding blue eyes after the subject. And you can see the results, right? Everything remains the same, except she gets blue eyes. This feature cannot be understated because there are so many use cases you can do. Like one guy from my community wants to do this for construction, where he takes a picture of a person's house and he uses in-painting to show how a finished project, like a new driveway, would look. And that's like an insane value add for the business, right? Imagine how much easier it would be to sell something to somebody when you can show them how it would look thanks to AI images. Like, the opportunities with in-painting are endless. Face swapping is another great feature. For this one, you need to use an outside app because it's not as easy to do inside of Midjourney. If I could predict, in 3 to 6 months, they'll add this. So invite inside face to your Discord server. I'm gonna link it below. And then you click add to server and select your own server. Type /save ID, name, you can name the face. So let's say you can use your face or a friend, your mom, whatever, right? And then drag in the file. So first you need obviously image with a face. So you can generate with Midjourney, or you can use an actual photo that you already have. Just make sure it's a close-up, make sure it's high quality, the person isn't wearing glasses, stuff like that. And then right click the image, choose apps. So you can see apps and then click on in swapper. And always try multiple variations because it's, you know, this is like a hit or miss. It's not always going to look as good as this. So try multiple variations, experiment with it, and see what you get. I mean, this one is honestly like really good. So module number 6, different ways of making money with Midjourney. So number 1 is creating templates for resumes. People who want resumes usually have a large budget, so this can be very lucrative. Generate an image in Midjourney, import it into Canva, which is a free software. Think of it like Photoshop, but for free. I mean, obviously there is like other features. Number 3, ask ChatGPT what should be on that resume. Obviously, depending on your client, on the person you're creating this for, don't just blindly copy paste ChatGPT. What people don't realize is that ChatGPT is actually good at producing text that doesn't look AI generated. You just have to tell it like, rewrite it as a college student would, as a professional programmer would, and it will do it. And here's a prompt that's really solid. Top-down view of a simplistic resume template. The image has only the resume in it. The resume is aligned with the borders of the image. And then aspect ratio, you want to do vertical, so 9:16. Next business model is business cards. So this is great for physical, you know, obviously brick and mortar businesses. Another bonus with this is that a lot of these businesses never even heard about AI art. So number 1, taking image from Midjourney. Number 2, recreating the cards in Canva. If you don't want to use Canva, if you have Photoshop, obviously you can do Photoshop. Here's an example of what it can look like. And you can also, like, this is kind of far away. So if you want, you can describe that image. Again, you can use close-up if you want the card to be closer. A top-down view of a simplistic business card template. The image has only the resume in it. The card is aligned with the borders of the image. And you can add close-up. Another idea how to monetize Midjourney is tile designs. Now, these can be used in so many ways. I mean, like wallpapers or websites, like or video games. Like, man, there's like so many ways to use tiles. The way to do this is to go niche. So target a specific niche and really go after them. Just don't be like broad, because then it's like, okay, who do I target? Where to start? Like, obviously you can list these on Fiverr, or you can just DM people who are already in a specific business. Create on demand services, maybe on Etsy. You can create your own Shopify store. I mean, there's endless ways you can monetize this. If you love using Midjourney like I do, then monetizing that and creating a business model out of it, it can make work feel like play. Generate image and add the parameter -- style at the end of the image, right? This already automatically generates images that fit right next to each other, so you can chunk them without any extra editing, which is amazing. Then take the images into Photo P and make them into tiles. Choose a specific industry, like a small niche, small target audience, and go after them. If you're like struggling for ideas, use AI for this. Brainstorm with it. Use your own judgment combined with ChatGPT, and you can definitely do this. I mean, it might sound intimidating at first, but trust me, it's not. Logo design. Like, the amount of money people spent on logos in the past is insane, right? Now you can generate hundreds of logos in Midjourney in an hour, in 2 hours. Crazy. So logo design, definitely a massive opportunity right now. And you would be surprised how many people still haven't even heard of generative AI or Midjourney. If you think like, oh, everybody knows about this, everybody can do this for themselves. No, most people don't know about this. Most businesses, most people have no clue that generative AI even exists or that it's this good. So definitely don't, let those limiting beliefs stop you. So generate a bunch of logo designs inside of Midjourney, and don't be lazy. Like, generate at least 100. Don't just do like 2 prompts and choose one and try to sell those. If you want to really be serious about this, you have to generate hundreds of variations and then choose the best and present those. You can do this either like a niche, so here you can see like more of a tech logo for AI, or you can do like specific for requests. So if you list this on Fiverr again, you can get the people to request what they want and then generate it specifically, which saves you time. But if you don't have any clients, if you don't have any demand, just generate packs. So you can do like for coffee businesses, for gyms, every single, like go to ChatGPT, tell it to list out 20 different business models and create packs for every model. Have at least like 5 to 7 great, really great logos in all of those packs. And then you can market them and show, okay, this is my portfolio. Look what I can do. And if you want something more specific, we can definitely negotiate that. So here's a tip. You could also use other AI tools to make vector images from these, which you can charge even more money from, because vector images scale with size, obviously. Making mockups. So this can be honestly for anything. So like, again, make the image in Midjourney, remove the inside of the frame, and you can do this either with the in-painting feature, or you can do this in Photoshop with generative fill. Like there's so many ways to do this, right? Then put a placeholder image inside and sell it. Again, it could be literally for anything. It could be like portraits of people's photos. It could be animals. It could be like product design, their favorite city, every tourist destination, right? There is people who are selling like the images of the city. You could create these super fast and even have better art than them. Now, this is more for like posters, right? So selling digital art, make images that look like they're actually painted. So oil paintings with blend colors sell well because they look realistic, they look natural. Like you might think like, oh, it's AI art, people will not want to pay for that, but you can actually like flip it around and use that as a selling point that it's original art. Because if it's just, you know, a Van Gogh that everybody has, like on these sites that you can buy posters, there's always the most famous artists, Van Gogh, Picasso, Henri Matisse. So if you have original art, you get an advantage. You can appeal to people's like unique identity, originality, get creative and generate anything you want. That's the great thing about Midjourney. There is like no limit. You can literally create anything that's on your mind. And you can use a service like Printify to print them out for people. So this would be even like, to take it even step further, instead of just uploading PNG files to a website, do the extra work and print them out for people and sell the physical product. Now, let's go into module number 7, going hyperbolic. This is by far the most advanced module. Let's look at functions inside of Midjourney. And you call functions by the slash. So /blend, /describe. Don't confuse this with parameters. Parameters are inside of the prompt and you type them after, you know, you finish the prompt. So you do like a green flying cat -- tile or -- repeat. Those are parameters. Functions have nothing to do with prompts. They're, you know, they're on top of it. /blend, you can merge 2 or more images together and get some super interesting results. So let's say you have an image that you like the subject, but maybe the lighting is off or you don't like the art style. And then you have another image and it's just, you know, depicts an art style or a different mood or an emotion. You can blend those together to get the best of both worlds. You can get very impressive results with the blend feature that you couldn't get otherwise by just typing a normal prompt. And this is why it is so key to know every single feature. The more features you know, the more you can get out of this tool. So if you know these functions, you already have a massive advantage on the people that don't know them. Like the describe function. This is one of my favorites. This can teach you prompting. Like this alone can improve your prompting so much. And like it's crazy how many people don't know about this. So /describe, it gets Midjourney to describe an image you upload and it gives you 4 different descriptions, and then you can even click generate all or imagine all and it generates new images based on those descriptions. If you have an image that you love online, it doesn't have to be an AI image, but you don't know like maybe the composition or like what kind of camera it could be, just paste it into Midjourney and do /describe, you know, with that image, and you will see how to get images like that. /info, this is more of a practical one that will save you time, but I use this one basically every day. Get a bunch of info about your subscription. So how many fast hours you have left, like when your subscription renews, how many images you generated in total. There's a bunch of useful stats. Relax. So this is when you wanna, you know, maybe save money. You have time on your hands and you don't wanna burn through fast hours. If you are planning to generate hundreds of images, as I suggested for one of the business models, you maybe wanna use relax to not burn through those fast hours. Turbo is the exact opposite. This is when you don't have time and you don't care about burning through your fast hours. Just do /turbo and it speeds up the generations, but it consumes 2 times more fast hours. So you do /prefer and then you have a bunch of options. So you choose option set, you give it a name, and then you give like some words or parameters that you want to repeat. What I have one preset for realistic images, realistic or award-winning photograph or hyper-realism or a different camera style, stuff like that. And I don't have to type that in every time I want to create a realistic image. So if you find yourself generating, maybe for the logos, if you have a really good prompt that works for logos, set it as a preset using the prefer function. And you will save yourself dozens of hours in the long run. To call it, use it as a parameter. So whatever name you give it, if you want to use it in the future, just call it as a parameter. So the same way you use --AR to change the aspect ratio, you would do -- and whatever name you gave your preset, Midjourney automatically fills in the preset. Okay, so one of the most important questions, obviously, is which plans should you choose? Now, Midjourney used to have a free plan and people were abusing it like crazy, so they removed it. So the cheapest plan is basic for $10, which honestly is a very reasonable price given how good Midjourney is. But as I said, you can do a lot with the basic plan if you rate the images on the website. I have the standard plan, but honestly, I might switch to the pro plan. As you can see, the main thing is the fast GPU time. This is the main, like most of you should probably be between basic and standard. If you are a more advanced user, probably pro. The mega plan, I mean, this would be honestly only for those who actually want to take one of these businesses seriously, right? Like one of the business ideas. And if you want to actually build a business based on Midjourney, then mega plan makes sense because you get way more fast hours. Stealth mode. So this is if you want to create private images, which you probably should do if you are working with a client or like you work in a company and you want to do something like a logo or whatever. You should probably do stealth mode. That probably shouldn't be public, right? So for that, you need the pro plan at least. The reason why standard plan is really solid is because you have unlimited relaxed GPU time generation. So even after you run out of the fast GPU time, you can keep generating images. On the basic plan, you can't do that. Maximum concurrent jobs. Again, this is like very important. You might think like, okay, doesn't really matter, but honestly, this is why I'm considering going to the pro plan more so than the hours. You can only do 3 jobs at once and 10 in the queue. So at most you can type 13 prompts, and after that you can't anymore, right? So here you can do 12 at once and 10 jobs in the queue. Lets you create images way faster. But either way, this is a pro tip. And this applies to every single AI tool, not just Midjourney. Only buy monthly. The AI field is changing so fast. Like every week there is new AI tools, new companies, new AI models, new research papers, new breakthroughs. So you never know what happens. Like it's crazy to say, but like a year from now, Midjourney might not even exist, or like there might be something that's much better, right? There's no point paying for something for 12 months when it might as well not even exist 12 months from now. /shorten, you can give it a prompt you wrote and it will cut out anything that's not necessary. You can see like the way the Midjourney creators intend prompt engineering by feeding it one of your prompts. Now obviously the prompt should have some length. Like it shouldn't be like 2 words. It should have like 15, 20, 30 words. And then you can see which words it chose to remove. It's another way to improve your prompting using the shorten function. /tune and then prompt. You can make a custom style for images and use the style for anything. So let's say you want to create like a story, right? A story of a cat going through a street. You obviously need to create multiple images for that story. And to make it make sense, you need the same style. And for this, you would use this function. Stylize, we already went through that. And style random, you can get a random style with this parameter. Pan, so this is a feature you can see. If you see these buttons below the image and you don't know what they do, it's for panning. So let's say you have a square image, right? Like this. And you want to, like the subject is like very to the left, like this maybe, right? And you want to see like what's here. You want to see what's next. You just click the button. Midjourney will reimagine that image with a bit more generated on the right. Pan plus remix, you can specify what you want in the extended part. So if you want to have some control, maybe you have a table, right? And you want to create a vase, you can specify that with the remix feature. Zoom out, it's basically like clicking all these 4 buttons at once, but obviously that would take a lot of time. So just click zoom out. You can, zoom out and get the full picture. Very good feature. Make a square. Again, it makes an image into a square. Custom zoom, so you can do whatever zoom you want. Like play around with it, right? Obviously, don't expect to get great results right away. Just see it. So this is important. You get an image, you generate an image in Discord, you react with the envelope emoji, and the Midjourney bot sends you a DM with the seed. And then you can use that seed in future generations to put it like after the parameter. And that's how you can create the exact same image, because if you don't use a seed, every image will be different. Now this, most people ignore this. Most people use the latest version. And I mean, it's for obvious reasons. Usually the latest version is the best. However, you can do a lot with the previous versions. Now, the first 3 versions, 1, 2, and 3, those are kind of lame, They're like, the quality is much lower. But from versions 4, it's amazing. So a lot of people still, even today, use version 4. Obviously, version 5 is still quite recent, which is good. 5.1, 5.2, like, it's hard to describe, but you will develop a feeling. You will develop a sixth sense for how these versions look. So the expert prompt engineers, the people who are the best at using Midjourney, they know for which prompts, which version would be the best. There are so many parameters in Midjourney. Just you have to try all of them. Dash stop. So this is, to get a more blurry image, to stop the diffusion model. But yeah, basically you will never use this. Tile, as I said, is for tiles that are seamlessly connected. So whatever is up here, down here connects with whatever is up here, and the corners perfectly match. Permutation, this is super useful if you want to create variations out of prompts. So let's say you want to imagine a bird and you want 2 different birds. Just put it into curly brackets and do red. So here's an example. You can do 2 permutations after each other, or you can even do permutations inside of each other. Now, I made it easier because I created a custom GPT for this, and that'll be linked below. It basically creates the permutations for you. It just saves so much time. So dash video, this is more of a experimental parameter, and it doesn't work for upscales or variations, but basically it interpolates the 4 different variations into a single video. And honestly, this is very hit or miss. It's still the feature is still in its early days. Now, what you can do is, when you watch movies or Netflix, you can actually turn on English and then audio description, and you can see it describes every single scene perfectly. And I learned this from Nick Floats, who is, amazing. So you can see like this describes it. Cinematic shot, a pilot looks around the forest in a pale light in the morning. This you can learn prompting so fast. Here is how diffusion models work. I'm definitely not an expert on diffusion models. That's why I include a screenshot by ChatGPT, because it can explain it better than me. If you want to look into how diffusion models work, pause it and read this. Now, if you found any of this valuable, please follow me on Twitter. It takes 5 seconds and it really helps out a lot. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of the day.